How did your high school crush turn out as an adult? Began acting. It's weird, every so often I'll see a commercial or something and be like, oh, hey, I know them. My crush is an incredibly sweet person. So I'm glad. I remember walking up to her and asking if we could talk in private. And she said you can say what you need in front of everyone. Her group of friends were all around. So I asked if she wanted to go on a date. She burst out laughing and said yeah. No. Speep was rough. Man. Looked her up last year and she's a cage fighter now. What? I guess she's always been a pro at hurting people for others' entertainment. Still looks good. Divorced with a few kids. I was the typical fall in love with who I'm dating dude in high school guy. Took me till college to get out of that mode. Looking back, I was an overbearing, to put it gently, moron. Was I too serious about dating back then? She got her tits out in an HBO show, which was totally unexpected. My crush turned into a self-righteous prick who still lives with his parents. He became livid when he found out my husband and I had a baby. I apparently was supposed to be his backup plan if he couldn't find anyone better. Mine was my best friend. She turned out to be a pedophile. She always liked younger. When she was 17, she had a 13-year-old boyfriend, which was we were kids and I didn't think about it much. Turns out she continued to like younger teens as she grew into her 20s and 30s. Whoa. My only GF in high school was my crush. Her mom banned her from dating me after about a year because my GF admitted to her mom that we were fooling around. This was about 20 years ago. She's still living with her mom. No kids. And as far as I know, never again dated seriously after her mom broke us up. Still has the same job from high school too. It's like her mom went way into protective overdrive and my former GF never grew up. Beep. Yeah, it sucks. Even 20 years later. Married with wife and kids, I still think about her on occasion. Weird how a first love keeps popping into your head. They all steal a little real estate in your heart. It's just that you're happier to find some of them there than others. He's an attractive gay man. I am none of those things. Same with my crush. He was my first serious crush and my first slow dance at a middle school dance. Now he's gay. Attractive. Was in the military. And now own a photography studio. He does some great headshots. I was a freshman and had a crush on a senior. To add to it, she was a cheerleader and her brother played QB for the football team and got a college scholarship. She showed up at a football game a couple of years later with a baby in tow. She's married now and back in her hometown. That's about all I know. She's still hot. Successful and wealthy entrepreneur. And married someone with the same first name as me and who quit his job to brew beer. I crushed on her for a bit. Didn't think she was interested, so I dated others. Then come to find out she crushed on me senior year. I was too dumb and blind. We connected freshman year of college. She wrote me letters. And by the time I wised up, she had moved on. No one to blame but myself. What if you built a time machine and went back in time, then changed your last name? An insanely talented molecular biology researcher at Boston. And she's still insanely attractive, undefined. Considering Boston is a hub for life sciences and that most researchers in the field start out with mole bio. Saying molecular biology researcher at Boston is essentially the same as programmer in Bay Area. I was about to say the same. Like I grew up in Ma and I know dozens of molecular biologists in Boston, lol. The number of startup pharma companies out there is insane, making me wonder what I ever saw in them. I concur. It was one of those days where they just suddenly pop in your head and you decide to try and look them up on Facebook. Found him. He ended up being a pilot. Added him and we became Facebook friends. Turns out he has a flight attendant girlfriend and they were traveling together, and then few months after being FB friends they shared the news they were having a baby, haha. Became a professional cheerleader. Died of breast cancer at 34. Googling names from high school is crazy. Edit to add. Thanks for all the support, Reddit family. I'm also surprised how many on here know her, and in a way makes me feel better that such a beautiful girl did make an impact on people's hearts and assured me she is not forgotten. My crush became an NFL cheerleader. Still alive though. And no, we never dated and she didn't remember me at the class reunion. My first high school crush who sat next to me in freshman year English was a really cute punk rock girl, and she's gone on to become an incredibly hot fitness model. Jackie was a rich punk rocker, a silver spoon on a paper plate. Haha. My husband. Our first marriages didn't work out and we reconnected after our divorces. If only I would have confessed I had a crush on him in high school. Might have saved myself a lot of trouble. Laloon defined. Dead by 32. Drugs. I'm only 8 years out of HSN with a class of 90. Over 10 are dead because of alcohol and drugs. There must be something in the water. Undefined. Class size of 90 with only one school in an area as large as you, live way out in the middle of nowhere. Ed. My graduating class had nearly 2,000 people. Listening to all those names sucked. Makes sense for other reasons too. Rural areas can have terrible meth problems or similar. Went on to be a teenage model for hair products. Graduated from Yale. Toured Europe. Opened her own successful ceramics company that is sold worldwide and is often written up in magazines. Makes me feel like Speep every time I think of her. Was it really a crush if it doesn't make you feel like Speep? Well, if your crush turned out to be a terrible person, you could comfort yourself by saying that you dodged a bullet there. Is it really dodging a bullet when you weren't in the line of fire to begin with? Holy Speep, you killed him, dude. She ended up getting knocked up by a freshman shortly after we graduated. A college freshman or a high school freshman? D. High school. Yikes. Back when I was younger and crushing hard, I got on AOL Instant Messenger and had gotten my crush's screen name from a friend. I worked up the nerve to start a conversation with him, and soon after some awkward small talk he sent me a message in Comic Sans. Black background. Red lettering. And in French. I then went to Google for translation and found out he had just called me a pig. In French. Being a seemingly awkward and chubby teenager, I was literally crushed. The heartbreak was only made worse by remembering that a few weeks prior I had selected to take French class the next year and couldn't change it. Years later, now that I've blossomed, he follows me on every social media platform. Has reached out a couple of times to try and flirt/hang out. Hard pass. I believe he's moved away and is a teacher now. The now you want me because I'm hot attempt. I had a lady try that post-college. Maybe had she not been so mean about turning me down when I asked her out before, I would have considered it. Found her on Tinder. She said I was hot. Pointed out that I was that loser she used to know in high school. Had a big laugh. Been a little over a year. Now we send each other memes and hang out occasionally when the pandemic isn't being a bitch. So you're saying there's a chance? Only if you roll a 20. They both ended up as great guys. One has a huge family and is a minister. The other only has one child and is a college professor. Both married nice people and are happy. They were really good guys in high school and ended up being really good adults. I've got both of them on Facebook and we keep in touch peripherally as we stayed friends over the years. Going to an all-boys school sucks for having realistic crushes. However, ran into one of the teachers years later and she still looked bellissima. I went to an all-girls school. Crushes were desperate and far between. That's not what the educational films on the internet tell me. I don't know about you guys, but I had way too many crushes in high school. LOL. Yet I read the post title and thought, which one? Well, isn't it obvious? The one that got away. So yeah. All of them then. I briefly worked with mine and didn't realize it was her until I left for another job. She looked almost unrecognizable. But it was 15 years after I last saw her. She's married with a couple of kids now. So pretty standard life, I guess.
Hey guys, if you like this video then smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more contents like this. And don't forget to press that bell icon to get notified for future videos. Thanks for watching. Click here to see more videos.